our personnel and our assets, and of course those of our allies.
Where next? It is impossible to tell. Mark Stone, Sky News in Washington.
The Prime Minister Keir Starmer will be chairing a Cobra meeting this afternoon, and in the last hour he gave his reaction to the US strikes on Iran.
Prime Minister, lots of people watching you speak this morning will be very worried about the news overnight.
This afternoon, and in the last hour he gave his reaction to the US strikes on Iran.
Prime Minister, lots of people watching you speak this morning will be very worried about the news overnight that
This afternoon, and in the last hour he gave his reaction to the US strikes on Iran.
Prime Minister, lots of people watching you speak this morning will be very worried about the news overnight that
This afternoon, and in the last hour he gave his reaction to the US strikes on Iran.
Prime Minister, lots of people watching you speak this morning will be very worried about the news overnight that the US has carried out 3 strikes on Iran. Does the UK support US strikes against Iran?
Well, we've long had concerns about the Iranian nuclear programme and been very clear that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. The US has now taken action to alleviate that threat. It is important that we now de-escalate the situation, stabilise the region, and get the parties back around the table to negotiate. And I've been speaking with international leaders this morning to that end. So I want to reassure the British public that we're doing everything we can to stabilise the situation, to de-escalate the situation, and to get to a negotiated outcome. But I'm very clear in my own mind that Iran cannot be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. That is the greatest threat to stability in the region.
Your solution to no nuclear weapon, though, was diplomatic routes, not strikes. The UK has been clear no military action can put an end to Iran's nuclear capabilities, and the language on both sides this morning is worrying. President Trump has said future attacks would be far greater and a lot easier. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran, greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Iran has said the events overnight will have everlasting consequences. Do you agree escalation seems very real, and are you prepared to offer military support, UK military support, if needed?
Well, my focus is on de-escalating the situation. I accept your challenge that there is a risk of escalation. That's a risk to the region. It's a risk beyond the region. And that's why all our focus has been on de-escalating, getting people back around to negotiate what is a very real threat in relation to the nuclear programme. In relation to the UK, we were not involved in the attack. We were given due notice, as we would expect as close allies to the US. And we have been moving assets to the region to make sure that we're in a position to protect our own interests, our personnel and our assets, and of course those of our allies.
Prime Minister, if Iran attacks the US, that would be an attack on a NATO ally. If they attack bases, etc., in the region, it could trigger Article 5. Are you prepared for that, and would the UK become involved?
Well, I'm not going to speculate about what may happen because all of my focus is on de-escalation. But I do want to reassure the public we have taken all necessary measures to protect UK interests, UK personnel,